Laura Ingraham went on to Lisa Booth's podcast, and she had this to say.
People conflate Trump with people's overall sense of happiness in the country. I mean, Donald Trump's been a friend of mine for 25 years, and I'm always very open about this on my show. But we'll see whether that's what the country wants. I mean, what the country I think is so exhausted. They're exhausted by the battle, the constant battle, that they may believe that, well, maybe it's time to turn the page if we can get someone who has all Trump's policies who's not Trump.
So now she thinks it's time we should turn the page on Donald Trump. Do you know when I thought we should turn the page on Donald Trump? When he said, hey, I think I might run for president. That's when I said, yeah, we really need to turn the page on this guy. So she's about 6.5, 7 years too late to the party on turning the page. And to say that she's exhausted, she's just flat exhausted at the battle. People are exhausted at this battle. No, you know what's exhausting is people like us watching you fight that battle. People like us hearing you make every excuse for this man. People like us watching you condone everything he does and blame it on everyone else under the sun. That's what's exhausting. It's exhausting seeing Trump blatantly break the law right in front of everyone's face. He'll deny it at first. He always denies it at first. Classic wrestling villain. He denies it at first. Then after enough heat gets on him and enough evidence comes up, he says, well, yeah, so what? I did it, whether you like it or not. That's what we're exhausted of. We're exhausted about the anger and the hate and the rage that Donald Trump is still instilling in his followers to this day, because he goes on Truth Social every other day and has a complete meltdown, and somewhere is some guy sitting at home in his mom's basement feeling like he's being erased from society, and he's just dying to go out here and get his hands on a gun so he can go out here and hurt someone, and Trump thinks that's okay. And the people like Laura Ingraham thinks that that's okay, and she's exhausted fighting this battle. Well, we've been exhausted for a long time. Now listen what else she had to say.
Realize we've been through worse than this before, and we will get through this again. But when we get power back, it's time to hold everyone accountable. The military leadership, the civilian leadership, the civil service, those in Congress who've abused their power, all of them have to be held accountable. All of them. It can't be this nice guy routine where we're just, let's be friends.
So while she does think that it's time that maybe we turn the page on Donald Trump, she still wants everyone to be held accountable but Donald Trump. Yeah, let's go after the ones who are trying to hold Trump accountable and hold them accountable for trying to hold him accountable. You can't even make this up. Listen, Donald Trump must be held accountable for his actions. He must be held accountable for his crimes. And hosts like Laura Ingraham needs to be held accountable too. But Fox News host Steve Doocy did call upon Trump to tamper down the rhetoric against the Justice Department and the FBI. And Trump said this, whatever we can do to help, because the temperament has to be brought down in the country. If it isn't, terrible things are going to happen. Well, you think so? Well, if you really think that, Donnie, why don't you quit having these meltdowns on Truth Social every day? Why don't you quit going on there and spreading more misinformation? Why don't you just, for once, face accountability, and then let's all call on people like Laura Ingraham to be held more accountable? Because, yeah, that's one thing I can actually agree with Trump on. Until they're held accountable and until this whole thing dies down, yeah, bad stuff's going to keep happening.
Hey, this is Jordy, co-founder of MeidasTouch. Person, woman, man, camera, prison. MeidasTouch just came out with a brand new t-shirt with this perfect message. Make sure you check out store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com and grab yours today. Thank you.